Hello everyone and welcome back to day 7 of the daily video challenge. I've just finished work, I've got home, it's about 20 past 9, so I want to get a video out as quick as I can, but I want to make sure I'm bringing something a little bit interesting. So today I want to talk about something that I use a lot, and that's Unsplash. If you haven't heard of it, it is a really good video sharing, almost stock photo site. I say almost stock photo site because I work in marketing, I do a lot of design work as well, and with that you need a lot of photography for websites, for social images, and usually you have to get these images from sites such as Big Stock Photo and iStock and Shutterstock, and all of these stock photo sites you have to pay for each license on each photo. And the reason that's frustrating is because people can then make a lot of money out of it. And what that has led to is the people that want to make money out of it do a lot of stage photos. So they do huge photo shoots where they do all of these stage photos that they think are suitable for businesses and marketers to use, and it ends up making all of the photos look very similar. I'll put some sort of examples of watermark photos up on the screen now. Now, I have no problem with creators getting paid for the photos they're taking, but these photos were more businesses and they weren't very creative. They didn't really look the best. Now, what Unsplash has allowed is they've removed that payment barrier from stock photos, and what that has allowed is an awesome community of photographers who post these amazing photos for anyone to use free of charge. You can use them for your marketing, your designs. You can put them on your website, you can manipulate them, they're completely free to use and you don't have to give credit. I'm going to show you Unsplash quickly here on my iPad, and as you can see, this is just the home page and there's loads of these really fantastic artsy photos. And I can see already that I could use this one potentially, and all I have to do, look how high quality and really nice this photo looks. And if I want to download this to use in any of my marketing, I can just press that download and it will download onto my iPad or onto my laptop and I can use it for anything. I also like this one. This could be great for a car video. Again, I can download it. Then this is my photo to use. Now, I am no photographer by any means. I have a camera. I like to take photos as well as my videos. But I have taken a few shots that I just thought I'd put on Unsplash because I wasn't using them for anything. I wasn't submitting them to any of the stock photo sites. I wasn't really interested in making money out of them. I didn't really think they were good enough. So I'm going to hop into my Unsplash profile here, as you can see. And there are quite a few photos here, various different bits and bobs, from my sunset in Whitsville where I live to Boston. You've also got some shots of New York here, which are pretty cool. And then these photos which I took in our old office where the lighting was really nice. I didn't have to light these at all. It was just the overhead light in the office was nice enough for me to take really good photos with my Panasonic G7. Now, from posting these photos, I've actually got quite a few views and downloads. So if you see my stats, I've got 4 million views of these photos, 12,000 downloads and 194 likes. So that means 12,249 people have seen my photo and gone, I want to download that because I might want to use it in something. And that makes me really pleased. And there's a fantastic community of Unsplash creators that you can find on Twitter and Instagram that are taking these brilliant artistic photos for anyone to use. Now, I wanted to dive into a little bit of what I do when I get a photo, when I take a photo, how I import it into my iPad and edit. Again, I want to give a disclaimer and say I'm not a photographer at all, so I'm not massively up to date with the terminology or sort of what I do, but I want to take you through my process on how I actually do edit these photos and upload them to Unsplash. So one thing you will need for any iPad or any iPhone you want to edit on is a dongle. Now, I've got a USB-C dongle here with my SD card in it. I'm just going to plug it straight into the iPad. Now, what will happen when you plug it in is it will come up with the import screen. You then find the image you want to. So here's an image I swapped over earlier. I'm going to import it. I'm going to import it to my SD card and I'm going to delete it off the SD card once it's imported. And then I'm free to take out the dongle, Don't need this anymore, put it to one side. I do edit all my photos on my iPhone and iPad, so I just find it a little bit more intuitive to do. And the reason I find it so intuitive to do is because I've got one of the best apps I've ever tried on any iPhone or iPad, and that is Darkroom. Darkroom is here. All I have to do is open that. There's a really good team of people that make Darkroom. I'll leave a link to them in the description below. So what I need to do now is find that photo that I imported just a minute ago, and here it is, the picture of the Mercedes A180 that I've got for a review that I'm going to be releasing in the next couple of days. Make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for that. The first thing I do when I get any photo is I need to crop it and make sure it's aligned properly. So I'll go into the crop and alignment tool. I actually want it a tiny bit tighter, make sure it's centered. So I'm pretty happy with how that's straightened up. I then like to choose a filter. I've got a few custom filters here when I'm doing sort of some photos of the same set, but I'll choose a filter that I like and go from there. So already there I like A110. I don't want a black and white one. Don't really like L100. That is too, no. That one's pretty cool. It's sort of got that New Yorkish vibe. Oh, I like that. That's quite harsh, very contrasty. I also like A400, but I'm still sort of thinking I like that original one. L100 is also nice. You can also see how many different filters there are in Darkroom, but I sort of like to use it as a starting point. So let me go back to that one, to the original. So I'm going to start with A110. So I'll start with a filter. I'll choose the intensity I want. I'll bring it down ever so slightly. And then what you can then do is go into your different filters and it will see it's changed some of the filters that you might want to. Now I like my photos to be quite bright, but I think this one, it was overexposed in the first place. So I'm going to bring the brightness down a little bit. The highlights, what I do with my photos, because I'm not an editor and I don't really understand what they do, is I'll move it side to side to see sort of what I like the look out. So you can see with this, the sky is being blown out on sort of the top of the car if I bring up the highlights. I'm going to bring them down a little bit, not too much. The shadows, I don't really like the faded look. I like it to be dark and very contrasty. So I'm going to bring the shadows down a little bit. Saturation, I like my images very highly saturated. I like to bring all the colours out. I think with this photo though, it may be better to drop them a little bit because of the tone, the sort of mysterious look I'm going for this. So I'm going to bring the saturation down. Vibrance as well, the same thing. Just so it's quite a moody looking photo. And then bring the temperature. Ooh, don't know, what do you prefer? Temperature up or temperature down? Usually when you've got an Instagram feed and you want your Instagram feed to look good, you want to be going for the same tones. But on this, I'm not. I just want to make sort of the best looking photo. So I think the cooler one does actually look a little bit better. So I'll bring the temperature down. I'm then going to go into the curves, and it's the same sort of thing I do here. I just sort of play around with them, see what I like. That looks really awful. So again, black's as low as possible. Bring it down a little bit more. And then the other thing you can do in Darkroom, which I don't do, but if it's your style, you can do this no problem. You can actually add a border, which looks really cool for some photos, especially if you're going to print it or something. It'll give you the different tones which are in your image. Then it will give you a different range of colours you can choose. So if I wanted to go rogue, I'd have like a red border around it. So I think I'm pretty much happy with this image now. It's a bit more dark, it's a bit more contrasty than the original. I'll just go back and look at the original. So there we go, that was the first photo, and that's what we've got now. A bit of a dark, punchy image. And then now all I've got to do is upload this to Unsplash. So what I'll do is I'll press the share, I will save a copy of it, because I like to go back and see the difference. I'll then come out of Darkroom, open up Uploader, which is the Unsplash Uploader, which is an iPhone app. Make it full screen. Oh, I got to log in. Once I've logged into the app, I'll click submit a photo, allow it into my photos, click this little edited one. I can then change sort of the settings I use. So I know I use the GH5, I use it with a 1.4 aperture. The more info in this, the better. Then I'm going to put some tags in, and that'll do for my tags. And then you can also write a story of it. I'm going to say photos of my car for the weekend. Then you can also write a story, which is kind of nice, but I'm not going to bother with that. I'm not going to bother with the location, and I'm going to upload that image. And there you go. There is the photo there, the moody photo of the Mercedes. You can actually download this photo yourself. Again, I'll leave a link for this in the description. So there you go. That is pretty much my start to finish workflow of importing and editing and uploading photos to Unsplash, and why I do indeed like Unsplash. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.